Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we'll be responding for the second time on this channel to anti-vegan memes. If you haven't seen my first video responding to these garbage memes, I will have it linked in the pinned comment or description. Let's get into this absolute cringe. Actually, before I do this, as I did in my previous video reacting to anti-vegan memes, I would just like to preemptively respond to the geniuses who will respond saying things like, "Oh my god, bro. You're seriously responding to memes? They're memes, bro. Get a sense of humor." As if memes don't ever have some kind of serious message being expressed in them. They sometimes do, and the ones I will be responding to today do. Now let's get into this absolute cringe. We have this one, before going vegan, after going vegan, which is a huge reminder of how much anti-vegans tend to value unverified anecdotes when it comes to bashing veganism and the health aspects of it. Using their same logic, I'll redo this meme, but include me. Amazing. So this one's kind of long. It says, "Non-vegans, I am naturally an omnivore, so I eat a healthy, balanced diet with meat, grains, vegetables, and fruit." So we'll respond to these parts one by one. We can ignore the irony of claiming you're naturally an omnivore, and therefore you decide to eat animals that are not like the animals our ancestors ate because they have been artificially bred over time. But anyway, the next one says, "Anyone can go vegan. It's not just a first world luxury." Yeah, so I'm not sure which vegans are claiming that literally everybody on the planet is in a position to go vegan. This is obviously an absurd claim. Next part, "It's not hypocritical to use a device made of human suffering and exploitation of natural resources to preach least harm." The second part implies that veganism is about maximizing harm reduction, which isn't necessarily how I view veganism. See my video on my issue with the definition of veganism for more information on that. Moving on, there seems to be some kind of empirical claim stuck into the second part that the purchasing of particular devices causes a net increase in suffering compared to not purchasing these devices. I would like to see evidence for that. Never let people make strong empirical claims or implications like this without asking them to substantiate what they're saying. Next part, "Animals eat crops too, so it doesn't matter that animals die for my diet." So this is just a straw man. Vegans aren't saying, quote, "Since animals eat crops too, it doesn't matter if animals die for my crops." They say to people bringing up crop tests that if they take issue with crop tests, they still ought go vegan because less crops are required for a vegan diet than an omnivorous diet due to more crops being required to produce calories from animal products compared to calories from plants that you eat straightforwardly. What a hilarious straw man. Next one, "Vegan is the optimal diet for health. 4 out of 5 quitting is because they were never vegan to begin with." So this last part is clearly from the Faunalytics study, and you can tell that the person who made this meme never actually read this study. First of all, the 4 out of 5 or 84% figure wasn't just about vegans, it included vegetarians. Second of all, if you actually read the paper, you'll find that the vast majority of vegans who quit did not quit for health reasons, which is the antithesis of what the creator of this dumbass meme is trying to imply. I have a full video covering the study and how people misrepresent it to shit on veganism. Here it is if you're interested in watching it later. So here we have vegan bacon, and then it says fake bacon is for people who think meat is murder but still like the taste of murder. Okay. So we have the classic anti-vegan either pretending to be brain dead to the point of not understanding that vegans don't morally object to the taste or texture of animal products, but instead the means by which we obtain them, or this anti-vegan is not pretending to be brain dead and actually just is. Amazing. So we have this classic vegan meme activism thing that says, "Why love one but eat the other?" And then we have flowers and then lettuce, and they're trying to, use our own logic against us here. And I have to just assume they're joking here. Maybe flowers just taste like shit. Also, flowers are sometimes eaten in dishes. But yeah, to equate vegans asking why it's okay to breed and murder pigs for food, but not dogs, to why vegans typically consume leafy greens over flowers is incredibly genius. Don't you get annoyed when you find lettuce in your salad? This looks delicious. So we have the omnivore on the left saying, "I respect your diet, so why can't you respect what I eat?" And then the vegan on the right says, "Because you eat animals that have been killed in cold blood, I'm never going to respect animal abusers." I mean, the meat eater in this meme is being very reasonable. Why can't vegans just respect other people's right to violate the rights of animals? It's a personal choice that not so personally includes other beings. Amazing. So we got the Breaking Bad meme, and it says, "Vegans when they realize the cow doesn't come back to life when they don't buy meat from the store." Yeah, so I guess supply and demand isn't a thing. I'm sure if there was a market for human children, these anti-vegans would think it is incredibly silly to think that lowering the demand for human children meat would help lower the supply of it. In other words, humans being bred and murdered for a cheeseburger. And we have this saying, "Vegans complain about inhumane conditions for animals," and then the anti-vegan, the genius one says, "No fucking shit, the conditions are inhumane. They're not human." Yeah, so I guess this person thinks that the commonly agreed upon definition of the word isn't something like, quote, "having or showing compassion or benevolence," or even marked by compassion, sympathy, or consideration for humans or animals, which is a definition according to Merriam-Webster. They just think, "Oh my god, it has the word human in it, so it must only apply to humans, as if they're like 8 years old or something. This one says vegans when animals are exploited and killed for experimental purposes, and then vegans when animals are exploited and killed for experimental purposes to produce plant-based burgers. Yeah, so I guess we're just making stuff up now. I'm seeing plenty of vegans complain about this, but anyway. So this one says the 3 tools of the vegan cultist: misinformation, outright lies, emotional manipulation. Veganism is a cult ideology rooted in pseudoscience and fueled by propaganda. There is no reason to be vegan and there never will be. I acknowledge that veganism is a cult. This meme really reminds me of the majority of anti-vegans commenting on Joey Carbstrong's posts on Facebook. People like to disclaim that his video is filled with misinformation and lies, and whenever I try to challenge them to get a little bit more specific, they just say something like, oh, it's obvious, or like, oh, you're a liar or something. Also, what is meant here by emotional manipulation? Is it explaining to people the unethical entailment of their decision to pay for animals to be systematically abused for a cheeseburger? Is emotional manipulation when you truthfully share with somebody the atrocities associated with their decisions, in turn affecting their emotions to make them stop supporting such atrocities? Because that seems to be what vegans do, as well as pretty much all injustice activists that are trying to convince people to change their lifestyle or even just support other causes. As long as this is done truthfully, I don't really see what the issue is. So aside from memes, let's also just look at some posts in the anti-vegan subreddit. This person says, can someone please tell me what the fuck is vegan chicken or vegan cheese? I guess we have someone having a meltdown over vegan mock products as usual. It says, is it fake chicken and cheese made out of chemicals in some lab to make it look, feel, and taste like it? We got like 5 question marks there. This sounds like a very depressing and unhealthy thing to eat. I bet someone who is about to starve to death would never eat something as strange as that. Yeah, so these people really should join the field of nutrition science. Rather than analyzing the composition of plant-based meat and cheese and other mock products, as well as use them in trials to determine the health outcomes they can generate, we can just infer their health value by saying, quote, it's made out of chemicals in a lab. This is so depressing and unhealthy. Amazing. So this is a picture of raw milk and says raw milk for the win. Yeah, maybe not when you consider the following study. Raw milk has frequently been identified as a source of foodborne illness outbreaks. U.S. statistics for dairy-associated outbreaks of human disease during the period of 1993 to 2006 have been reviewed. There were 121 dairy product outbreaks where their pasteurization status was known. Among these, 73 or 60% involved raw milk products and resulted in 1,571 reported cases, 202 hospitalizations, and 2 deaths. A total of 55 or 75% of outbreaks occurred in the 21 states that permitted the sale of raw milk. States that restricted the sale of raw milk had fewer outbreaks and illnesses. Raw milk for the win. Yes. So this says vegans equate animals to humans but forget that there are humane ways to kill humans. So it says there is no humane way to kill someone who does not want to die. Yeah, so this image doesn't say there is no way to humanely kill someone simpliciter. They finished the image with who does not want to die. It seems like the person who made this post didn't realize there were more words on the screen. But let's check out the comments on this post. Animals were given to us by God to use as food, sacrifice for sin, clothing, etc. That is at least one of their purposes for having been created. And then someone says, I love your post. Good to see some good old-fashioned Christianity around here. Yeah, and it's veganism that is the cult. And then we have this post that says, and the plant protein doesn't get used by the body in the same efficiency. And it says, you know, animal protein greater than sign plant protein. To get 30 grams of protein, you can eat 4 ounces of steak, which will get you 180 calories, 0 grams of carbs, and then they compare it to 3 cups of beans and rice, which gets you 730 calories and 145 grams of carbs. And then it says, sorry, it's just science. It's like people who make these kinds of food comparison memes think they can't just get called out really quickly, like literally within 2 minutes, for cherry picking foods and making unfair comparisons. 1.5 ounces of vital wheat gluten gets you 157 calories and 32 grams of protein. Also, what is this carbs demonization we have here? Why should I care if 1.5 ounces of wheat gluten is 5.9 grams of carbs? And they also claim that plant protein doesn't get used to the same efficiency. No evidence is cited for this, but I can assume they're making this claim based on the DIAS scores for plant protein. I've covered the issues with using these scoring systems for plant protein here. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you support my work and want to get early access to it, you can click the link in the pinned comment and support me on Patreon. And if you don't know, I do have a book going over most, if not all, of the anti-vegan arguments you're going to hear online. If you want to get that as well, that'll be linked in the pinned comment. Lastly, there are 2 links below for vegan protein powder and vegan merch, both of which, if you purchase, will help support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dude,
fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever speak to me again. You're a fucking piece of shit.
even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who's your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude,